Welcome to our last class in the series, and I wanted to offer one more tool that I find really useful for dealing with the monkey mind, and that's relaxation and balance. And so we'll finish the series with a breathing exercise for balancing the hemispheres of the brain and kind of balancing the energies in the left and right side. And then a few postures that we will hold for several minutes and deepen into relaxation. I hope you've enjoyed the series, and we'll begin seated. Also, if you have yoga props, you can bring them into the space for this practice. I'm using pillows just to offer some variety for the postures that we'll do today. So we'll begin seated, and we'll be seated for a couple of minutes. So make sure that your seat is comfortable and sustainable, a posture where you feel like your spine is straight, but that you're not holding your posture up with your shoulders. That's why it's nice to sit onto support, because it helps to lift your hips and even can help tilt the hips forward, the pelvis forward, so that your spine feels more at ease and the low back curve and the curve in the cervical spine are natural, nothing forced here. You can move yourself around as you need. When you're ready, close your eyes. Invite your attention inward. Notice how you are arriving to this practice. Letting yourself settle into the space. Noticing your body and your heartbeat and your breath and your mind. They all come with us on this journey of the practice, so invite them in. The breathing exercise that we're going to do today is Nadi Shodhana, where we isolate the breath. We're going to be alternate nostril breathing, like moving the breath from side to side. So if you need to pause and blow your nose, you can do that now. We'll take the peace fingers of the right hand and place them on the forehead. You can massage this area or tap this area to just bring a little bit more awareness to the third eye. When you feel ready, resting your fingertips there. And take your right ring finger and close the left nostril and breathe in through your right side. At the top of the inhale, release your left nostril, close the right nostril, and breathe out your left side. At the bottom of your exhale, breathe in through the left side. The top of the inhale, release your right nostril, close the left nostril, and breathe out the right nostril. That's one cycle. One cycle is 2 full breaths. Inhale through the right side. Exhale, left side. Inhale, left. And exhale, right. Breathing in through the right nostril. A natural full breath. Exhale out your left side. Not forcing the breath, but letting it flow out the left side. Inhale, left. Exhale, right. continue. Breathe in right. Breathe out left. Breathe in left. Breathe out right. Keep the face relaxed, your shoulders relaxed. Continue. Take the last couple ones at your own pace. Everyone's breath rate is a little different. It's important to cultivate your own relationship with your pace of breathing. So if I'm talking too slow or too fast, please follow your own rhythm of breathing. Please do one more cycle. The next time that you breathe out your right side, that will be the last time. After your exhale, you can release your right hand, straighten out your shoulders and your head, and breathe naturally through your nose. Notice the difference. Notice the quality of your breath as you now have no restriction and you can breathe freely. Honoring your breath here. You can gently open your eyes. And we're going to come into our first pose. We're going to come into a standing forward fold. And it's not a typical forward fold here. I'd like it to be more passive. So you can have your feet wider apart than you might typically take them. You can also have your knees quite bent. And I'm going to give a few different variations. One of them being that if you have a folding chair, you can also be resting there. Like you can have your elbows resting on a folding chair, especially if you're tight in the back or tight in the hamstrings. So feel free to pause and support your posture as you need. You can also take the posture folding forward, elbows on your knees and dropping your head. You can also take the posture holding your elbows and kind of ragdolling into the posture. I don't have my legs straight as I'd like for my spine to be able to lengthen here and relax here. So we're not like pulling up the kneecaps and firming the thighs and making this a very active stretch. You can let the weight settle into your feet and into the crown of your head. And let yourself breathe here, allowing for a little bit of stillness. Find a position that you'd like to stay. And then explore with your inner gaze. Move your awareness around your body and notice where you might be able to relax. Maybe your teeth. Maybe you could bend your knees more. We're going to be taking a few postures here where our focus is more internal, eyes closed and more folding inward. So start to do that. The eyes can be closed for the rest of the practice. Noticing. Maybe what you notice is the urge to move. But we want to embrace the challenge of this style of practice, which is not moving much. Taking the postures, remaining still, observing.
but there's inevitably movement here in the pose because we're breathing and we're alive. So also notice your breath. And we'll take one more breath. The next posture that we're going to move into is a squat. So you can bend your knees enough to bring your hands onto the floor and move your feet a little wider, turning your toes out. And for those of you who don't comfortably reach the floor with your heels on the floor, you can take your support underneath your heels and squat down, because we'll be here for a little bit. So you can rest your heels and maybe your butt onto your pillows. You can have blocks or books like we've done in the other practice underneath your hips and be here in the posture. The posture looks like this, facing forward. I'm going to sit onto the pillows and work the hip opener in a more passive way, resting into the stretch instead of forcing the stretch. So maybe you have your hands to your heart, or you can invite a little bit more of that forward folding, that turning inward. You can have your hands down. If you have the chair, you can also be resting on the chair, hands on the floor, or just kind of move into the posture as you need. There's no real entirely right way or entirely wrong way to be in these postures. You can close your eyes, return to the internal landscape, and observe your breath. Maybe you are tense in a place in your body that is unnecessary. Maybe a little bit of muscular action is necessary for you to maintain the posture, but maybe you don't need to be squeezing your eyes shut, or maybe you can drop your shoulders down, or can relax inside your mouth. Oftentimes we're holding tension in places where we really don't need it. This is a nice posture to allow the breath to move all the way down into your pelvic floor. If you feel your mind wandering, you can count your breath or say to yourself, I am inhaling when you're inhaling, and I'm exhaling when you're exhaling. Please take one more breath. And we'll slowly transition into the next pose. The next pose we're going to come into is child's pose. Again, you can use the props, blankets, blocks, pillows, anything that you like. Make the transitions between the postures nice and slow. In this posture, the knees are wide apart and the feet are together. Maybe you want props, maybe not. If you're comfortable lying all the way on the floor, that's an option. It's also quite nice to support your belly and your ribs with a pillow or a blanket, and we'll lay down. If you feel a lot of tension behind the knees or too intense of a stretch on your thighs, maybe put one of those props here, letting your hips be a little higher and your heart a little lower. Treat your body tenderly here. Relax. Use your exhales to soften physically and energetically. Let your hands and your forearms and your elbows be relaxing onto the floor. If you have one side of your face down, let that side feel like it's melting. Letting the eye and the cheek and the jaw soften. Let your stomach relax. Like imagine you're taking off a tight belt and you can let your belly really soften on your inhales, filling up. Nice soft exhales. If you are looking to one side, you can change the direction of your face. You can look to the other side. And then relax into the pose. Drop in. Softening all your parts. There's a lot of space and time in this style of practicing. So the work is to keep your mind in your practice, to tether the mind. Maybe that is your breath that helps to anchor your mind. There's also enough time to scan around your body and notice your physical body here in this pose. We can really live in our mind and really live in our thoughts. So when we take these postures for a little bit extra time, there are moments where you can notice new things, subtle things, things in your body that you might not have been aware of. And please take one more breath. No rushing as you come out of this pose. You can gently press your hands into the floor and come up as slowly as you like. Luxuriating in the slowness of this practice, because most of our days are not this slow. So we'll come to seated and extend the legs. And we're going to take one more forward fold here, and you can also use props. You can use your blocks, you can use the pillows, you can use blankets, especially if there's tight hamstrings or a tight back. You want to use some support under your knees. And there's lots of ways to fold forward here. If you fold forward and are already feeling big sensation in the backs of the legs and the low back, maybe prop your head up with your elbows and your fists. For some of you, it is more comfortable to fold forward. For some of you, it's not enough sensation with the pillows there. You can remove them, but we want to support the body. And here in this last forward fold, allow for your head to rest. Maybe on something, maybe your forearms or the pillows. The more we can rest our head, the more we can rest our minds. And I'm not activating myself into this posture. I'm folding with time and with gravity into the posture. Notice kind of like the whole journey. Folding forward and feeling your body resist and give you that feedback that that's your edge. Stay there. Breathe. Maybe a new edge will open up to you, maybe not today. But enjoying this inward focus. The eyes closed, folding inward. Please take another full minute here. Soften your head, your shoulders, your whole body. One more breath. Slowly lift your head, use your hands on the floor to help you to sit upright. And stay here for a moment and feel the kind of echo from the practice. You can close your eyes and sit still. Noticing what the body feels like, the heart rate. And our final posture, we have two options. You can lay flat onto your back. You can come into Shavasana. If you have a wall, love the wall. You can come into legs up the wall. And I've used the pillows quite a bit today. I'll use them here too. So if you're using the wall, you can bring one hip up close to the wall and then kind of lay back and swing your legs up. You can have your head flat on the floor. You can have a pillow under your head. We want this posture to be effortless. So if your legs are tight here, this feels like an active pose. You can move your hips a little bit further away from the wall. Soften behind the knees. Let your heels rest into the wall. Let your whole back soften. The back of the sacrum, the low back, the backs of the ribs, shoulder blades, the back of your head, all supported in a comfortable, safe position. Let your arms relax, heavy. Your breath is effortlessly moving in and out through your nose.
knees slowly come in towards you. Same if you're in Shavasana, you can bring your knees in towards your chest. Slowly lower your legs over to the right just for a moment. And then over to the left. And then come into the fetal position to the left. Take a breath. Feel complete in your practice. We'll slowly come upright. We'll meet seated. Take your time. You can sit cross-legged or kneeling. Take a moment for gratitude for your time and your dedication and your practice and your mind and your body and everything. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me. Namaste.